All right, let's talk about Israel Palestine because I agree with Ilhan. So this is a good segment for me. All right, so there was apparently a ceasefire. Whatever that means with Israel Palestine. And now again, I haven't covered this too much on my channel because I've had so many other things to talk about. But I want to be very explicit. I'm 1,000% in favor of Palestine. I think Israel is an apartheid state leaning on fascism. I think it's a horrifying and disgusting country, governmentally speaking. I think just everything that they've done to their own citizens is just horrible. And then the fact that they, of course, just try to have this whole secondary citizenship thing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so, so there was the ceasefire, right? But what does the ceasefire mean? Does that mean you don't use missiles or whatever? Because they're still having police occupations of mosques, for example. So is that that's not a ceasefire, right? If police are not letting people go to their house of worship without going through chemical weapons, is that really a ceasefire, right? But whatever. This is an article from Fox News. I like reading Fox News, just because you get to see how stupid people are. And really, I think a lot of mainstream media has similar opinions to Fox News when it comes to Israel-Palestine. So, Representative Ilhan Omar said Thursday she is happy a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas was agreed to after a week and a half of fighting, but insisted there needs to be accountability for every war crime committed. To my understanding, hundreds of civilians, including children, died. To my understanding, hundreds of thousands of homes were destroyed. Jesus Christ. I don't know how you can destroy someone's entire I saw this post of someone who had 7 children or something, and all 7 of their children were killed because they were in the same house that was destroyed, and something like that. How do you? Oh, sorry. What the fuck? What do you do to make up for that? Oh, whoops. We'll stop now. Be grateful. We're gonna stop now. The idea that this is on a Fox News page, Ilhan Omar demands accountability. The idea that this is a scandalous headline for Fox News. It's dude, these motherfuckers literally massacred children. They were committing genocide. The state of Israel was trying to commit genocide, motherfucker. Right? It's crazy to me. She also accused the U.S. of tactically supporting those alleged crimes with its support for Israel. That's objectively fact, right? We should all be grateful that a ceasefire will prevent more civilians and children from being killed, Omar D., Minnesota, tweeted. But now what? We need accountability for every war crime committed, and we need to stop underwriting crimes against humanity while doing nothing to end the occupation. Abso-fucking-lutely. I agree with that 100%. Her reaction was just one of several comments from members of Congress after Israel announced it agreed to a ceasefire, which was brokered with help from neighboring Egypt. Reaction from other members of the liberal squad was just as harsh against Israel, although some Democrats, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, took a more conciliatory tone. Oh shit, Rashida Tlaib's in this article. Let's go. A ceasefire is necessary but will not alone achieve freedom, justice, and equality for all who live under Israel's apartheid government. The U.S. must condition funding to uphold human rights and end the funding entirely if those conditions are not met. Absolutely fucking agreed. Again, the whole, the idea of saying that Palestinian lives are less than Israeli lives. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If it were a situation, the Jim Crow South, it's very similar, right? But, if it were in American soil, is that to say, I feel like people would be more noticing of it. If let's say the North occupied the South or something, and was bombing schools, right? I think people would be more concerned about that. But because it's happening in the Middle East, people just don't know, right? People think, oh, Israel, they're good, I guess, right? Because that's all they've been ever told. And they think, oh, well, Hamas are terrorists or something, so therefore let's kill some children. It's just I don't know, people just don't think about this shit. It's crazy. I don't, how is killing children okay? It's weird. And then there's also the thing where it's okay, right, you've got a state government, a government with unlimited power, right, with the backing of the, world's hyperpower, largest fucking military in the world, versus, a small little group, of people that are trying to defend themselves in an occupation, right? The sheer amount of authority and power imbalance there is ridiculous. So, again, is it horrible? if people in acts of rebellion end up killing innocent civilians? Absolutely. But you know what's even more horrible? When a government, right, endorsed by and supported by the world's largest military does just that. Right, because the government has so many resources available to them. The government has unlimited power, and the government could handle the situation in any way possible. They have unlimited resources, right? If the government wanted to, they could build all new houses, give everyone citizenship, give everyone health care, educate people. If they wanted to, they could do their own little propaganda education, but they really choose not to, and it shows just a blatant disregard. And so that's why, again, I'm not going to be the one to say that, okay, people like rebelling in a struggle in an occupation are doing it the wrong way. Like, if an innocent civilian gets killed, especially a child, it's horrible, it's disgusting, and it's evil. But again, like, the calculus between the state doing that and a group doing that, I think those are two different things. One has unlimited resources. And so I wanted to be very clear on my opinion on that one. But either way, there's apparently, like, a lot of people are talking about it. And so, I mean, that's pretty good. I heard that there was this fight on Fox News. If someone wants to send me a clip of that, I'd be glad to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And then, of course, it's like, okay, well, Hamas is harassing us. So it's like, okay, what the fuck did you, like, let's like, retrace our steps here a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I just, like, it's just bizarre. It's bizarre. It's strange. It's weird stuff. And it's just not good. I mean, it's just bad.